What's up, guys? This is Two Sisters Unscripted. This is Caitlin.
And this is Megan.
And welcome back to week... What
7,
week?
8, 7. I think this
7
is
or 8?
7.
Who knows?
We're having
Welcome
too much
back.
fun. We lost track.
Exactly. Welcome back. Super happy to have you guys listening in. We appreciate all the amazing feedback that we've been getting so far. So keep it coming. Constructive criticism. Whether you like it, love it, we can change something. We're open to everything. So this week, we're going to dive into the topic of body positivity and self-love. We wanted to do this topic after Valentine's Day week, especially because sometimes that week can be a little tough for some people, right? So we just wanted to discuss this topic and also kind of tie it in because I think it's a trending. I think both of them are actually kind of trending topics lately across different media platforms and just whether it's just in life with your friends or family or anything like that too. So we wanted to just dive in a little bit about it and discuss kind of like what they are, what we perceive them to be, how we've dealt with those, I guess, challenges or not challenges surrounding them throughout our life and how we've just kind of navigated that as well and how we still are. I think we're
Yeah,
ever evolving
absolutely.
here. Yeah. We're just always evolving here, which is totally fine. But so to jump into it, we really just want to be able to just help promote awareness and also, if we can, inspire listeners to embrace their own self-love, acceptance, and
Just to be more positive with themselves and graceful with themselves.
yeah, giving yourself grace is a big one that I probably mention later on for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like we've already said that too in a couple episodes. Like you have to give yourself some grace, like for multiple reasons, not just self-care.
Yeah, 100%. I think if we dive into it, I think we can start with, I think body positivity kind of, I think, well, both tie into each other, right? But I think body positivity then leads into that self love.
Yeah.
So with body positivity, here's a quick, like, what are they called? Definition, right? Definition. Taking it back to school for you guys. And I'm not going to front. I put in body positivity in Google, and this is the definition that popped up. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I did a whole research project on it.
Went to the library, got out the dictionary.
I should because our city here just got a really beautiful library.
You should check it out.
I'm going to. I am
Awesome.
really going to. But body positivity is a movement that promotes the acceptance and appreciation of all bodies, regardless of size, shape, or appearance. It encourages individuals to challenge societal beauty standards and embrace their bodies as they are. And I think that's one, amazing, but it also can be extremely difficult regardless of what social media is saying. I think social media has definitely become more body inclusive. I think we see it across plethora of platforms and marketing strategies, but I think it's still challenging those, as I mentioned, those societal beauty standards because they say it, but are we really acting on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3XL, 4XL, 5XL, extra small, is there 2 extra small? XXS?
Yes, I believe
That's a
so.
thing. I was like, I think that's a thing. But you have this wide range of sizes, but in all reality, a lot of places still only have models that go from maybe an extra small to maybe a 2XL. There's still not many There's still, from what I see, there's still not much representation, I think, if we come to like clothing brands or fitness outlets or anything like that. But what do you see that? Or am I mean, maybe there are some. I'm just not looking in the right place.
No, I feel like a lot of them are still that small to XL range, I feel like. Um, yeah, I mean, I do a lot of my shopping online and I just filter by my size, I think. Like I don't,
Yeah.
it's hard. But I feel like I haven't seen a, a big range as much as we should
Yeah.
in all, like all brands.
Right. And I think that's that, like, there's a lot of brands that say, and I think that's kind of where people still, I mean, even myself included sometimes with that struggle of, okay, we're saying like these sizes fit and we're body inclusive and we have these sizes for every single range, but then like their models still look up to a certain size or a range of certain sizes. And similarly, I think like when I think of Nike, I'm a huge Nike wearer. They have sizes up to I think 3XL. I think 3 or 4XL. But for example, in their Nike app, I've only seen one person that, for lack of better terms, will fit into that quote unquote not typical fitness
Right.
body, right? And I think that's such a disservice because you're wanting people to purchase gear that is their size and you're offering gear of their size, but then you're not offering a potential to see someone who might look like them on a platform that's trying to promote fitness as well, or physical movement as well. So obviously, I think there's still some things that can definitely improve upon it. But
It's
that
making
was like
me
a
it's making me think of the brand that I told you about. They're called Nudes, and every year they do something called a real body campaign, and they have you send in applications, and they do a whole event of them doing photos for their upcoming like clothing release or whatever. Um, and they bring in normal people of all different shapes and sizes, and then they do their photos for the next clothing release. Like I love that.
yeah,
Like they just did it last week and I was watching their stories on Instagram and there were a lot of moms because the owner of the company is a mom and a lot of her things were her clothes postpartum didn't fit and she didn't feel comfortable in anything that she used to wear. So I was watching a lot of them were moms and she brought in some girls that were currently pregnant to wear clothes like normal clothes during their pregnancy and postpartum. And there were tall girls and shorter girls, and we're short. Well, you're taller than me, but I'm short. And I just loved seeing a company bring in just normal, everyday people to wear their clothes for their
yeah,
ads.
yeah. And I mean, I think that's a fair point, 100%. Because if you want people of various shape sizes to buy your products, why not represent them?
Absolutely.
I think we just kind of like jumped into that too. With just like, by the way, here are these marketing strategies
Yeah.
I like should improve. Um, but but really, with the body positivity, it's genuinely recognizing that all bodies are worthy and beautiful, right? So I think so many people, especially you get, oh my gosh, what are they on like burner accounts on social media? Like losers.
Yeah.
Like that's just like losers. Like if you take offense to this, then honestly, it's probably you, bro. So, is people behind all these accounts like hating on people, and we see it honestly. Like I think we see it more geared towards like bigger individuals, but we definitely see it for like smaller individuals too. Unfortunately, like the beauty standards change so much, right? Like when I was in high school, the whole like big butt thing like wasn't a thing, right? Then all of a sudden Kim Kardashian came on the scene, and now everyone's like, I think that was before high school time, but even more so. And then everyone's like, oh, big butt. Oh, thicker waist. Oh, smaller waist, big butt. Like, it's just like all these things change all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We can't keep trying to chase these beauty standards because once we get to one, it's just going to change.
It
And then it's
shouldn't,
like, what now?
I also feel like body shapes should not be a trend.
No.
It's,
It's toxic
yeah.
culture because then that's how like eating disorders happen. And this isn't just happening for women. Like preface that because I think so many people, yeah, we are two women doing this podcast 100%.
We
But
just
there's
don't have a
also
brother, or it'd be different.
right, he be in this shit too. No. But this also happens with men. And I just don't think, unfortunately, men get the same like it's not acknowledged as much. Because men, I don't think feel like they have a safe space to share it as much, right? As like women, I think we have much more like bigger support, I think, than men do in a idea of like sharing a safe space to say, hold up, like my body's not like I'm not comfortable in my body or this, that, the third. But this happens like same thing is happening with men with like, oh, whether it's having six packs or having enough muscles or whatever the case might be. And in hindsight, you're never gonna win with the trolls, y'all. Like you will never win with the trolls. Because that's what they're meant to do in life, apparently, is just troll people, right? So you can do all the things that are good for you, that work for you, and people will still try to bring you down about it. But the biggest thing to remember is that your body is worthy. Your body is beautiful. Your body is doing what it has to do. And then sometimes that's just trying to survive, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I think too, like people always have something to say, not knowing all the facts, right? You remember when like Chadwick Boseman,
Mm,
Black Panther, everyone started commenting about how, oh my gosh, he looks like he lost so much weight. Everyone was just like comment all this negative stuff. He ended up having cancer.
yeah.
So it's just like everyone's out here trying to comment on stuff they don't know about, and people don't know. Like what? Like I mean, that's on. He ended up getting a bit thinner, and then if we turn onto the other side, and we think if people might be getting a little bit bigger, like I can only speak on like, well, no, men can have thyroid stuff too, but like
Yeah.
thyroid or PCOS or stuff like that. Like it's not just people eating more, eating less. It's like these could be diseases too. So,
There's things under the surface that people don't see or understand that, again, you're not going to win with the trolls. Trolls don't care. And it's hard. It's really hard to ignore them, but we have to let them just, just talk and exist, unfortunately.
I think,
They're there.
but with saying that though, with saying that the trolls are gonna troll, guys. Like that's what you know, they're just there. And I think you can have people on meet like social media getting back at them and they're just gonna stay firm in their stance. But I just feel like, unfortunately, it's trolls are just people that you're never gonna win with, because I saw something on social, like a lot of my feed is kind of like fitness related, but I saw something on social media, and someone commented, a doctor actually, I follow a doctor, and the doctor actually commented, made this post, and he was like, you're not, like, people are never gonna win because people are never gonna win because
Sorry.
our screen just did like some weird stuff. Um, but they're like, people are never gonna win because they'll troll people, and he talks a lot about like weight loss and everything. So this is specifically regarding that, but people will be like, he'll troll people, not him. People will troll people that are a little bit bigger, and they'll be like, you need to get into the gym, blah, 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 blah. Then next thing you know, bigger people are in the gym, and they're like, you shouldn't be in here. You need to stick with what you're used to, sitting on the couch. It's like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like, like, what do you mean? Similarly with like people who might be a little bit thinner and they're trying to gain muscle or get out of like the, whatever might be going on, and it's just, you're never gonna win, and they don't see underlying factors, and even if you say anything to them, they could be like, that's just an excuse. Like, you could say, I have an eating disorder, that's just an excuse. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I have PCOS, that's just an excuse. And it's just like, oh my gosh. I didn't realize I was talking to a certified doctor. Like, just so much with it, and you're just, it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
I growing up, I had issues with body positivity, and I still do. I think, we go through these seasons, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it hits us, and I think the biggest challenge navigating it, as well as like, I always say, like, I consider myself a little bit chubby, right? But I don't always fit into, I'm a fitness instructor, and I don't always fit into like what typically is perceived as like a fitness instructor, like the image of
Yeah.
one, right? So I don't have like super defined muscles, but I'm strong, right? But it's like, people can see me lifting these weights, but because I don't, like, yeah, if I flex my arm, like, you can feel it, like, it's there, but you can't see like a line, you
Right.
don't see like a bicep line. Um, and it's definitely tough because, you know, then people try to take away from my credentials or from my education. And
By
that's
judging you by
not
your appearance. Like the
right.
whole don't judge a book by its cover.
Right. Exactly. So that what is still a huge thing as well, and I think it ties into also, every once in a while too, it'll tie into more of like, in more of like an intimate way, like, if I'm thinking about like a partner or something, and it's just like, oh well, I'm a little bit chubby, like, are they gonna like it? Like, are they gonna love it? Are they gonna, like, not? So it's like, what will they like versus not like? And I think it also ties into trying to like not find, like, when it happens, but like being with someone who, especially as a woman, and I don't have kids, but I might one day, and it's kind of like your body goes through this massive change.
Oh,
So,
I can
like,
tell you about it.
yeah, so not only I've mentioned this before, y'all know I don't have kids. I mention it like almost every podcast,
In
but
case you were wondering.
in
As
case you're
long as you
wondering,
listened, in case this
they're
is the first
still
episode you're
they're
listening
still
to.
not here. But it it comes into play, the thought, like, you see your body going through changes, so, and you're thinking about that about yourself personally, but then it's kind of like, I feel like you're gonna start thinking of your partner now too, and it's like, wait, are they still gonna love me and see me the same with now a new body and these changes that it's going through. And everyone will say a good partner will, and that's so true, right? But it's the thought process of it.
Oh,
And it's
absolutely.
like, will they still, I mean, you if you feel comfortable, you can speak on your experience, because you have two kids, and you can say if you've experienced that or not.
I definitely went through, like, I guess, self body shaming. Does that make sense? Like, um,
Yeah.
I mean, just during pregnancy, after pregnancy, and then during pregnancy, and then again after, my body has been different 5 different ways in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had Aaron, and I like the postpartum mind really messes with the postpartum body. And,
How?
huh,
Like how? Just with.
like you just feel so many emotions. And then, like, I would look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't feel comfortable in any of my clothes. Nothing fits right." And then I see photos of myself and I'm like, I was really like, I looked pregnant after 6 months after having her. Like, I still looked pregnant. And then I had Keegan, and after I had a much better mindset after Keegan. Like, I knew what the signs were to look for in postpartum depression and anxiety. So I kind of was more on top of it. And I, maybe 4 months after I had Keegan, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna determine my mindset in this. And I slowly started working out, and like I won't. It's unscripted. I'm not gonna lie to anybody listening. I took semaglutide to help me lose the weight because I was stuck in this plateau and this mindset of like I I just want to feel confident in my skin, and it's really hard. And so I took semaglutide, and I ended up losing some of the weight, but like I still feel like I mean, it's going to be a forever thing. I'm still working on myself, my mind, my body. Um, but it's weird now. It's not, oh, I just want to be skinny and look like the models that fit in these clothes. It's, I want to feel confident and I want to feel comfortable and I want to feel strong mentally and
Yeah.
physically. It's not like my mindset has definitely changed since having kids. But looking at a photo of myself from before being like my wedding photo, for example, I'm like, holy crap, my body will never look like that again. But it's different, but it's not a bad thing. Like, my body now shows, like, yeah, I've had 2 kids and I have the body to show it. Like,
Yeah. How did you, if you feel like okay talking about it, how did you, I guess, like, did you have these conversations with Sean? Like, how did you navigate this as well with Sean?
yeah, no, I was very open with it. Like, I would put on pants that I thought I could fit again, but because my body has changed, like, they'd go up, but they wouldn't button. And I'm like, but I'm the same weight. But that doesn't mean anything. That scale doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's body composition. Yeah.
Um, and I would just start crying. And I'm like, I don't like this. Nothing fits. I don't feel comfortable. And it's like the Grinch, the where he's like, nope, 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 I'm not going. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember exactly what he says, but he's just like, he ends up going, I'm not going. And that was me. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, nope, we're not going. I'm staying home. I can't handle it. Because you just feel, no one's ever said it to me, but you almost feel like people like trolls, people will say to you, oh, but you're like a year postpartum. They don't say that stuff. I mean, nice, normal people don't say that stuff, but you can't help but think you're going to leave. There's still assholes out there, all right? But you can't help but think that people are judging you and you're quick to wonder what they're thinking about you. And
Yeah. Was there like anything, was there any moment that like Sean provided just love, encouragement that really stuck with you during this time?
oh yeah, I mean, he being a combat veteran, he has gone through um, depression and anxiety. And although very different, he knew what the signs were. So he was the one who encouraged me to call the doctor, tell them I think I'm going through postpartum depression, and to get a counselor and
Yeah.
my new therapist. And I did.
Yeah.
It definitely helped. Well, this was my therapist postpartum after Aaron. So, and I think a lot of that is why after Keegan, I kind of knew what to look for, and
Yeah.
I handled it, I believe, much better than the first round.
I feel like that's a very common theme. I'm not a mom, but I feel like that's a very like common theme though, because I feel like really the first child is kind of like a,
Practice
well,
run.
we're just trying, yeah. It's like, let's see what happens, you know. It's like a, it's not a trial, but it's kind of like
I mean,
I mean, you can try to be as prepared as you can be, but you're, and
that
people
first
who've had
baby,
kids, but you don't know until you do it.
a first baby is terrifying. I did not sleep for the first 4 days with Aaron. I remember waking Sean up crying, like, I have to sleep. I can't keep my eyes open, but she's moving. And he's like, okay, like, I'll stay up with her for a while.
Yeah.
Keegan, we came home, and I'm like, all right, good night.
Put him in the crib or the bassinet.
Good night, buddy. I'll see you in a couple hours when you need a bottle.
Yeah.
Aaron, I was like, I need to keep my eyes open.
Um,
Well, Aaron also, like, my freaking smart kid. I know all moms think their kids are smart, but and we're biased and we're allowed to be. We brought her home, and day two, she tried to roll over, and I was like, "What is this? Why are you doing this?"
I mean, she's a girl. That's just how we be. We
And then
just
there's
be,
Keegan, who the second he could stand up was trying to jump off the couch like
and that's a
superheroes.
boy. So there we go. We got it. We now know the brains of girls and boys just from that, just from those experiences right there.
But no, I mean, it definitely takes postpartum or not. Like, it takes so much, um,
Munch.
so much. Sorry, so I'm struggling tonight, guys. I just got the kids to bed, and I'm ready for bed. Um, it takes so much, like, um, discipline, like, and self-care and grace, like, to get through any kind of body change.
Yeah, 100%. I think, I mean, when we're looking at body positivity, it's part of the body positivity is just having that self love as well, because you're trying to like cultivate this more like positive relationship with your body and just the uniqueness of it. And that's hard to do if you're not loving who you are. And so I think that like body positivity, self-love, it goes hand in hand, right? And self-love is really tough, you know. Self-love is really tough. And a big thing is like the way you think matters, and the way you talk to yourself matters. So I I wanted to circle back to something you said where you were saying like after becoming a mom, like I want to do this for like my body just to feel good, feel strong. Like it's your mindset shifted. And
Absolutely.
I think I would say mine did too. And I think many people listening to this, they might say the same thing, like their mindset shifted with that, whether it's
I was gonna say your mindset shifted when you became an aunt, and you're like, now I need to be super protective and strong. No, kidding.
100%. I will
You are the.
die for them
I know.
before anything happens. Like, before, I'm telling y'all right now,
My sister had a baby, so my mind shift changes. Then now I need. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, superhero strength. It will come. We
And
even
strength, you
have
have
it
it.
as aunties. We have it too. It's not just moms, okay? We will ride or die. Anyways, but I think too, like I was so caught up with like, I have to lose weight. I have to look this certain way. I have to do this, blah, 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 right? And, a few years ago, it really shifted and, to, man, I just want to feel good, right? Like, I really just want to feel good. Like, I want my body to move with no pain. I, especially working at a level one trauma hospital, we see it all, right? We see, I had to throw that in there, y'all, because my sister, that's like, she always, when people are like, how's Kaylin doing? She's great. She works for a level one trauma hospital in XYZ, and she's an occupational therapist, and she's thriving. So, like, my sister has this whole spiel when people ask about how I'm doing back home, which I appreciate, and thank you for
Well, it's
that.
only funny because like somebody asked one day, and I was like, "Oh, she's doing great," and Sean goes, "Go on." We were at a wedding, and somebody asked, and I was like, "She's doing great." Sean's like, "And?" I was like, "Yeah, she works at a level one trauma hospital."
But I do. And I work with patients that obviously are going through immense traumas and difficulties and diseases, and it's hard to for them. It's hard for them to see that, and a lot of it is like I am trying to just be the healthiest version of myself that I can be, and it's not always perfect. Obviously, like last year, I could not bring to even get myself out of bed unless it was to go to work. Like I couldn't do it, and I ended up gaining quite a bit of weight last year because of that. And I'm still going to work, still helping people. And yes, I was still seeing the people with these same traumas. And yes, like I still wanted my body to feel good and everything, but it's just like I couldn't make it work. And
Mental
that's
health
okay too.
plays a
Yeah.
huge part in
Yeah.
everything we do. Our
Then that's
mental
okay
health.
too. But I think it's like that's kind of where that self love and the body positivity really is going to get challenged the most, because I saw my body shift and change in a way that I personally didn't like, but I physically felt like I could not do anything about it. And I mentally felt like I could not do anything about it. And that's like a really tough place to be in because it's like this cycle of like looking in the mirror, not loving it, trying to do it, can't. like struggling to do it. And like I really like I was in bed. I ate my meals in bed. I did, and people might be like, "Whoa, that's weird," but like I just couldn't do it. And it was really hard, you know. So I have feel better. But I really like shifted my whole mindset, which this was my mindset before. It had to come back to the forefront. And it's okay that it was on the back burner for a little bit. And I learned to give myself grace during that period, and that's okay that, you know, this traumatic event happened to us and we're trying to now navigate it.
I feel like if I didn't have to mom, I would have been right there with you. Like I have these two
In my
little.
bed.
Sure, why not? No, turn on a movie, eat some ice cream. Um, I have these two little humans that need me, so my only option was to get up and take care of them. And I
Yeah.
feel like this past year, with everything that's happened, uh, and I feel like this would be a good way to explain your everyday life during that time too, is autopilot. You're on autopilot. You get up, you went to work, you came home, back to
Yeah.
it. And me, it
Yeah.
was, okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna keep the kids alive, they're gonna go to sleep, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And that was just autopilot for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. It was. And when I got out of that, that's kind of going back to saying like the way you think matters. Because it's kind of like I read something that said like you end up becoming what you constantly think about. So as I stepped into like this new journey, I guess you can say, whether it's of self healing or self love or just trying to get back to like the normal, quote unquote, normal, right? Typical self is like, is also telling myself in that moment when I look at myself in the mirror, it's like your body has changed, but you are still capable. Your body, during that year, my body woke me up every morning. Yo, I might get emotional, I'm not gonna lie. My
We're
body woke me up every morning. It provided for me. It gave me the energy to do what was important at that time, which was for me at that moment, was go to work. It survived for me,
yeah.
and that's the mindset that I had to like tell myself versus you let yourself go, bitch. Like I couldn't, I can't, I can't do that disservice to a body that really held it down for me in that moment,
I
you
was
know?
just gonna say, like, you changing your mindset is almost like a thank you to your body for getting you through
Yes.
the past year of.
Oh, give me the chills, girl. Preach. Yes. No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. And that's why I couldn't go into this next step with such like that negative self talk to it when it got me through such I don't want to say traumatic again, but like such a
Low.
devastating, yeah, like a devastating year. So, absolutely, the way we think does play a role. And unfortunately, you said normal, nice people, like normal, kind people aren't going to talk shit. But we know, guys, we know that in life, I mean, there are certified haters out in the world. There are
People suck.
haters. Yeah, people are gonna hate on you. People are gonna talk shit on you. People are gonna say whatever they want about you, and whether it's to your face or behind your back, right? So the biggest like thing when it comes to that is really just like trying our hardest not to let opinions get to us and make you feel less of yourself. And that is so much easier said than done. I know it is. I know it is. Like, I remember I started my job and we had just, like, everything happened my birthday last in 2023 with mom. And,
I know for our listeners, we keep talking about how terrible 2024 was. We will dive into that. Like, each traumatic event is gonna get its own episode, but we can't do it all at once.
right, exactly. I mean, this is like a long episode right now. I know it is, but um this is even like we'll talk more about this in other podcasts as well. But I know like when I started my job, everything started hitting the fan with my our mom, and I wasn't home. I'm here. I'm starting a new job. Just constantly getting updates. Then where before it happened, like we're discussing, like, okay, she's probably gonna go into hospice care. So that was a whole other thing. And I remember I started this job. I'm going through like my initial orientation weeks and stuff like that. It was like 2 weeks type orientation thing, and I'm like in like survival mode mentally. I'm not grasping anything that's like being said to me. And I remember the guy that was like kind of taking me around, whatever. He asked me this question multiple times and he said, "Are you sure this is the right place for you?" And I was like, wow, like what a shitty thing to say. And on top of that, I'm like, wow, like I'm not confident in my abilities. I'm not confident in like myself. And do I know everything under the sun? I definitely don't. Google is my best friend at my job. I ask nurses, I ask doctors, I ask fellow therapists. Google is my BFF, right? But at the end of the day, I'll stand on it. I'll stand on this when I say I will advocate for my patients 110%. I am passionate, more passion, more. I am passionate about what I do.
I knew it was coming.
I care deeply for my patients. And I think, like, I honestly think, like, you can have therapists, you can have nurses, you can have doctors who are so knowledgeable, but the ones that are going to make the impact are the ones that the patients know that they deeply care for them.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And I knew that. And I stood on business. And I still have been standing on business. But that was a low blow, right? And in that moment, I was like, oh, I just, I don't even remember how I even responded to that. I really don't even remember. But it's also proof to say that like words matter, right? So like you can't control what people are going to say to you, and they can linger. Like obviously this is something that I still like know that has happened, right? And it's words still linger, but you have to like, that's why you have to reinforce your own positive affirmations to yourself daily and say, I was,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the F word. I am effing good enough. I am worthy. I am deserving. My body is my temple. I'm working it. Like I'm doing all good things. I'm good in my career. I'm good. I'm a good human. I'm a good family member. I'm a good friend. You know, I'm a great lover, FYI.
Oh God. Every time you say something like that, all I think is, oh God, Dad's listening to this. Hi, Dad.
First of all, you have one daughter that got 2 kids. How you think that happened?
We
Um,
sleep in separate rooms.
but you know, people are gonna say what they want to say, and let them. That's a new quote out there, right? Let them. Let them.
Yep.
Because if they're trying to bring you down, they're already way below you.
I feel
Let
like
them.
for every one troll or hater out there, you can find 10 people that will have your back
A
and will
hundred,
support
yeah,
you. So let them hate. Let them.
a hundred and
And
ten percent.
find your people, your support system.
That's right. And y'all, we'll wrap this up. But we both know this is obviously going to be a trending topic for us on different podcasts too, because it's a running theme. It's a running theme. But we know that it's not easy, right? Like having the self care, having the, I mean, well, yeah, self care too, right? Having the self love, speaking positively about yourself, your body, your mind, all of it. Like, it's not easy every day. It's not. But if I had to challenge you guys listening to do one thing, I would say whether it's in the morning when you wake up or before you go to bed, just say like one positive thing about yourself. Like, I don't know. I had the Missy Elliott, I got a cute face, chubby waist, thick legs, in shape. Ha ha, right? Even if you gotta do it through a song, do it, right? Like,
I mean,
just.
just talking today on the podcast, I guess my positive thing to myself today would be like, damn, your body carried two amazing children and it's still working
That's
ish.
it's still working. We still working.
Um,
It's still doing it. Yeah. But honestly, like when I get home from work, I'm like, dang, I really lifted them patients today. We transferred, baby. Max dependent assist. Ooh, we did it. We did it. Right? Yeah, it's that. It's telling yourself and reminding yourself that you're capable. And similarly to what Megan said, surrounding yourself with people that value you, not because of what you look like, but because of what you bring to the table as a human, and how you show up for them and what you radiate out into the world. Like, don't get so caught up on, what we looking like. Like, feel good. Do what works for you. Do what works for your body. Do what works for your mental and physical, emotional well-being. Like, you know yourself best. Love on you. Love on you first. Always. Love yourself more
for
than anybody
anyone
else.
for anyone listening that's struggling, if you're like Caitlin was and you can't get out of bed, just one step at a time. Literally, put your 2 feet on the floor, and if you got out of bed, you got out of bed. Try 2 more steps tomorrow.
That's right. The money drove me. I mean, I'm just being honest. The money drove me. Because nothing else did. I was like, I gotta survive and pay my bills. But yeah, and practice those positive affirmations and yeah. Shoot, I got y'all. If y'all want some nice scent every day, I got you. Hit us up on Instagram. We'll put a yeah. We're down. We can put a pot.
So
Yeah,
demanding.
yeah. Every morning, girl. We should put something up on our story. Uh huh.
She says we because she doesn't do it.
My sister holds down the fort a lot of the times. I'm not gonna, but she knows how to do all. She knows how to do this stuff. She knows how to do the reels and stuff. I really don't.
I
But
gotta get back into it. Like that was another thing I did that was like stepping out of my comfort zone was starting to do reels, and I gotta get back into it because
yeah,
my positive feedback was definitely much better than the negative, and people were like, "Oh my God, you make me laugh. I love when you do this."
yeah.
And then I had a couple people like, "Oh, are you just trying to become TikTok famous?" Like, I don't even use TikTok, people.
Where is
But
TikTok now? Is it back? I don't
I
know.
I think
Is it
so.
officially gone? I don't really know what
Mhm.
happened. No, I think it's back. I think he said, I brought it back for you. Any hoodles. We love and appreciate y'all for listening and love on your body. We will try to do the same on our end, of course, and say those positive affirmations. Maybe every day when you can, when you're feeling up to it. And yeah, let us know if you guys have any certain strategies that you use. Let us know. Fill us in on what you do. We love to hear about it.
Absolutely.
All
And
right,
as
guys.
always, have a fantastic week, and you can hear us again next week.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram if you're not already. Two Sisters Unscripted. Bye.
Bye.